Happy Friday, Denver. It is your host, Babyface John Ekstrom, coming at you from the Mandela Effect because no one remembers that I have a beard. Maybe you do on YouTube. You just listened to the Freakishinas who are coming across your screen right now. Amazing tunes. We're hyped up. We hope you're hyped up. I'm joined by my co-host, Grandmaster Sexay, Kevin Batstone.
What's up, Denver? Fire up your race engines. We got a great show coming your way.
And my other co-host, running the ones and twos tonight, Arthur Too Hot Raw.
Hey, we hot because we on it, and I'm so happy to be here speaking to Denver, speaking to the world, being here with two of my good friends.
Mile High Life is where you can find this. Please rate, review, and subscribe, no matter what podcatcher you're listening on, or if you're listening on YouTube. But hit us up on the audio. Give us some love there. Go to milehighlife.com. We got all the great pods. Gentlemen, tonight is a sexy, sexy show, and we kick it off with one of the weirder columns that I think I have read in a long time. The New York Times guest columnist would like you to have more sex. So,
really, do tell more.
So we read this essay, and I've seen this essay referenced and commented upon a lot in a lot of other pieces. I agree with the premise, but the basic crux is people are having less sex than they used to. Kids, adults, not just kids, but like everyone is having less sex.
Yeah.
Okay. And she kind of points out some things, but she doesn't get to the root causes of the loneliness and the isolation that this culture is feeling. I have only been having sex with one person for the last, let's say, 18 and a half years, okay?
That's beautiful.
So, thank you. That's delightful. It's, you know what? 10 out of 10, would recommend, no notes.
That's a
all
thin
perfect.
slice of all right.
That's a thin slice of all right. You have no idea. But
No, I don't.
you guys... That was sad, dude. No, I don't.
No, I haven't been married.
Brutally honest over there.
I haven't been married.
I fucking love being married. It's like my favorite thing ever. It's terrific.
Yeah.
So anyway, you guys are single.
Yep.
When I look at the landscape of what it must be like navigating the world of online dating, social interactions, it feels like kind of a nightmare hellscape. You guys, give me your feedback on both the article and the state of play.
Well, for one, the article, look, at the end of the day, it makes sense, right? Who doesn't want to do more sex? Because sex is great, right?
Do more sex?
Do more sex.
Spoken like a pure chat GPT.
That is, yes, which we touched on a few weeks ago. Doing sex, probably one of my favorite activities, right?
Sure.
But it's got to be with the right person. It's not just any and everybody, right? So the single life isn't all as chalked up as what it could be, right? Like, sure, it's fun to screw around, do what you want when you want to do it, but it's dangerous out there in the marketplace. You don't know what you're getting all the time.
In what way?
Well, you got STDs, you got pregnancy risks, you don't know this person, that, there's a lot of things that go on. Killers.
Have you encountered many killers out there?
I have not. Not me personally.
Oh, that's good. Fuck.
Because they haven't tried yet, and they could be lurking. They're around.
They're around. But yeah, the fact remains is it can be kind of dicey out there. And I think one of the reasons that sex has declined a little bit is pornography. I really think that's played.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's played a big impact on the psychological patterns of the sexual desires, because now people can just go on and find whatever they want. It's readily available, and it kind of takes away that live touch a little bit, even if it's bad sex. Because as Granddad used to say, the only thing better than fucking. It's more fucking.
Well, one of the things I've heard about pizza is pizza's like sex. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
I can relate.
In most cases, but your point about pornography is really interesting because it's like you find this very specific sort of kink fetish. You don't have to get anyone's buy-in for it. You can do it in the privacy of your own home, and you can get a reasonable facsimile of it using anything you can order off the internet.
Correct.
Okay, wow.
So
that is grim, dude.
So I'm going to dive deeper on this specific subject of pornography with that, because I feel like pornography actually decreases the ability to perform the act when it's happening, because you become numb to this very extreme, like you said, focused fetish that you may have. And so I don't think that might be the root problem. I think that might cause a problem with performance. But I think the main problem with people not even getting to the stage of having sex in the first place or intercourse is the isolation, and it's also the social media and all this. How do people actually meet?
Yeah.
And do people actually interact in person? And are they comfortable actually talking to somebody enough to get to know them in a confident manner to then where they can.
To where you're going to take your clothes off.
Yeah, where you end up in the bedroom.
Wow.
So I definitely think porn has a role to play, but more in performance. And I've personally experienced that before, where I was like watching way too much, and then like I couldn't perform. Right. So, but I was still getting to the bedroom. I still wanted to initiate that.
Sure.
So what is it? Social media that's caught, like, what? Why aren't, in my opinion, why aren't people going out there to actually have these conversations?
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me add a different wrinkle to this. In mainstream movies, you never see characters have sex anymore. Right. So like in Marvel movies, everyone is like a eunuch. Right? That, like, no one has sexual desires. There's like maybe some implied sexual tension. But like even think about even mainstream movies that we grew up watching. Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Like there's a satire moment where it's like gratuitous sex scene.
Yep.
Right? Or even a comedy, another Mike Myers comedy, So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yeah.
You get to see characters like even something like more recent. Let's go to Knocked Up.
Yeah.
Right? Okay?
Yeah.
So like you can see people like connect with each other in real life, in real time.
I haven't thought about that, but it's true.
Like, but in movies
Unless
now,
if it's like a rom-com, but even then,
it's almost like siloed though. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so the original Top Gun had the whole weird sex scene between him and Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis. Top Gun Maverick, it's sort of implied but less overt. And so like we almost don't see normal people like expressing sexual needs and desires. It's weird.
That is true. Now that you do bring up a good point there, because that was what was normalized. I think of like Jerry Maguire. We were even talking about Days of Thunder.
Oh, dude, totally. Yeah, both. Yeah, go to Victory Lane.
Go to Victory Lane.
Yeah.
You know, very sexual and right up my alley. You know, good stuff. But you're right. I mean, it's kind of been removed a bit. And I do think, like we said, pornography plays into that. Isolation
Definitely.
played into it.
Everything's more siloed, dude.
It
like,
is.
It's like, no, this is what I do for movies and this is what I do for sexuality. It's like, no, that feels very damaging because it's all part of the human experience and human expression.
I'm going to agree with this article as far as people should have more intercourse. People should have more sex. It's healthy. It's good cardiovascular workout, you know, and it creates intimacy.
Then you're doing it right.
Yeah.
It's a good cardio.
Hey, you know, both of us.
Public service announcement to all of you out there. Arthur Raw is up for some cardio.
Watch out now. Okay. Because look, I don't believe all the media that I see, though, okay? And what we have in here next is that there's a study that's showing striking number of people who believe that the news misinforms. And so I believe that last article, and not all news is
And that's
fake.
an opinion column, dude.
Yeah.
That's not news.
Oh, that was just a column.
Yeah, no, that's an opinion piece, and that's one of the biggest things with media literacy. People who can't tell the difference between an opinion
Columns.
piece and general, like, journalism reporting.
Interesting. Well, I mean, you went to school for all this and been
I did.
in it for a long time. So I could see how, like, your average person out there, myself included, might read too quickly over things and not quite pay attention to all the details.
Clickbait, things
Yeah.
of that nature. I
Oh,
mean, there's a
God.
huge market for it now.
Dude, I have a ton of thoughts on this. I want you to finish where you were going with it, and like then let's talk about this from a variety of angles because this deserves some discussion.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, look, news media and other projects that we do out of this room, we've had a lot of news anchors, ex-news people and reporters, and they have spoke upon their experiences.
Sure.
And sometimes it is filled in to be filled in without meaning. And everybody knows that drama sells and fear sells and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And so it's just interesting how all this is going on. And I mean, look, if we don't mention this on here, the Palestine, Ohio, that train derailment out there and the chemicals that are killing.
It's bad.
Yeah, like 10
It's really
miles
bad.
out. And I know, Kevin, you have some things to say on that. But no, they're misdirecting us with UFOs and things of that nature, which I don't believe. And I just feel like the media plays like a sick role in trying to influence the populace all across the world, not just the United States, but just in general. And we need, until you see it in person and interact with it live action, like I take everything on the internet to be skeptical. Like it could be satire is how I feel.
Yeah, and I think you have to have that same approach with mainstream media. Like the same way you approach an article that you see online, until you really dive into it, everyone wants to know the source. They want to know who wrote it. They want to know where it came from, where it was researched, what journalist did what, right? Until you really get down to the nuts and bolts of how they came to that conclusion and why this is being reported. But it brings up a good point, because Ohio, I think, is a good example of this. I mean, we saw a massive trail derailment there, massive chemical explosion to the likes that we haven't seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I find interesting about this in particular is why it's not being talked about more. The people in Palestine are hurting. There's their chickens and their farms and their fish are dying in the vicinity, according to reports I've heard out there. And I talk to people that watch the 5 o'clock news every night. They haven't heard of this story.
Yeah.
And you got to ask yourself, well, why is that? Is it not going to sell ratings? Is it, what is it exactly? There has to be more to it than let's just not talk about it.
Because that's drama. That like fits the whole narrative, right? Like, right. Why isn't that being put?
The old news cliche is, if it bleeds, it leads. Right, and because if it bleeds, it leads the news. You can sell more advertising that way. That is one of the drawbacks of a free market media system. The alternative is what you have in places like, say, Russia or Iran, where you have state-run media, where you get nothing but propaganda that comes from the government. It is one of it's a trade-off that you experience with media. Now, interestingly, in this article, they said most people don't believe national media. So that's your
Fox, CNN, MSNBC.
Yeah, and I would say anything you see on cable news, don't consider news. Literally, they have news in their title. It ain't news, man.
It's like an opinion.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's all entertainment. It's like when you watch fucking SportsCenter and they bring on a parade of people to talk about the same goddamn game.
Yeah.
Like, you need some sort of take to keep that 24-hour content machine rolling.
It's true.
That, to me, is bullshit.
I agree.
What I would tell you is, like, if we demonize the media, though, just as an entity, just like if we say media is working to mislead you, you're on the fast track to fascism if you do that. That terrifies me to my core, because I know, I've taken classes in J school. I know what you have to go through to get a story run through. Mm-hmm. Like, to get a story published, it has to go through multiple layers of fact-checking and editorial review. And that fucking matters, at least when it comes to newspapers, and newspapers are fucking dead, which is another problem, because you look at a company like Alden Capital that owns the Denver Post. They have hollowed out the Denver Post. The Denver Post is a needed institution in terms of, like, just keeping the world in check. That's what journalism should do.
It's true.
Right? But it's not what it always does do. So I agree with you guys in that you should keep a skeptical eye on everything you read. Mm-hmm. Try to find multiple, people writing about the same subject, and then get your opinion right about it.
I agree with that.
But
check your sources. Don't just follow one source.
Totally, and make sure they're trusted sources, that they have an editorial review process. Because so much of the shit you can find in the social media echo chamber is pure ass. And so, this matters to me in terms of civics and, preserving our fucking republic. We need a robust news media, and the fact that so many people have mistrust, and the fact that the media has been derelict in doing a good job of telling their story of why they matter, all of that just deeply, deeply troubles me.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack with it. I mean, I think it goes back to the first article. It's an opinion, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we see a lot in mainstream media, the major networks we talk about. It's just like we're doing here. They sit around a round table and they have their opinions about news stories that have been trending throughout the day. And I think that, to your point, that's where people take opinion as fact versus what is really happening. Because when it comes down to it, journalism it should be about as reporting the facts as they see it. But, I mean, there is some issues with some of that, like we talked about with this Ohio situation. I mean, I saw some footage on the ground out there of a reporter out there that got arrested for trying to cover the situation. And,
and that's PR people run amok, too, which also makes me hate, what I've done for a day job for the last 15 fucking years with a burning passion. Because there are people like me out there doing the dark arts of PR, and I hate them so much. Because they're trying to they're not being transparent. They're not working in good faith. They're trying to earn or minimize bad coverage of whoever they're representing. Mm-hmm. And man, fuck that. Fuck that all the way into the sun.
Yeah, I agree.
So this one, Art, you had no idea when you put this in here in the rundown. But this is something that matters to me, good journalism and good PR practices.
It is important, right? Because who else
fucking matters, dude.
Who else is going to speak? Who else is going to say this stuff?
Totally.
And look, unfortunately, I feel like if you're too truthful and you're too honest, then
you're almost like a crackpot.
Powers out there that want to silence you for being too upfront and honest. You know, and so it's like you have to walk a fine line, especially as a journalist, where you have to like really say it specifically to not.
Right.
You have to almost be like approach it like an anthropologist, like you have no opinion about it.
You almost have to be like too deferential, or you just decide to go the other direction where you are absolutely totally opinionated about every single thing. And it's created a very toxic environment where we can't even agree on a basic set of facts anymore.
It's concerning.
The media landscape is way too fractured, and God, that bothers me. It's tough, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we could beat a dead horse on that one.
Yeah. All right, let's go to something a little more fun. The NBA trade. Good God, what? Can we start this over?
No.
All right. No.
No,
okay.
we
So
are not allowed.
okay, so we're not misleading the public here.
No.
I flubbed that. The NBA trade deadline was bananas. And the All-Star game is coming up this Sunday, so normally we save this for shit to do. But I was texting with someone, fellow Mile High lifer, Jeff Morton. He hosts the Gen X show. He's my NBA buddy. I text with him while the Nuggets are playing. It's one of my favorite things, literally. But he texts me, and he goes, this NBA trade deadline was drunk. Because you had Kevin Durant, a top 5 NBA player, traded to the Suns, which, God, that pisses me off as a Nuggets fan. The West is so much tougher now because he's there. Then you had noted lunatic Kyrie Irving traded to the Mavs. The Nuggets shipped Bones Highland out of town, very popular bench player. And the Lakers got a lot better. There was so much going on. So it's setting up the last 20 or so games of the year.
Before the playoffs.
In a really interesting way. So I still think the West runs through Denver. I still think they're the best team. But my God, have you guys been following this at all?
I mean, I keep my eye on all sports to the best that I can. I didn't really watch a lot of the trade deadline, but it is always interesting to see it come down to the wire. You know, and it's interesting how they do that in a lot of sports. MLB will do it. You don't so much see it in football, but like you see it a lot in basketball.
Football's not a trade sport.
It really isn't.
No.
I mean, you see a lot of off-season transactions. Hey, we'll give you this for a couple draft picks or whatever.
Right.
But what's crazy about like NBA and MLB is like in the middle of the season, all of a sudden, your hot player now he's going to your rival.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it's structured, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that Seinfeld skit where Jerry Seinfeld, he's talking about why everyone's so frustrated about, it's just people wearing different shirts.
You're cheering for laundry.
Yeah, you're cheering for laundry.
Yeah, no, that's the whole punchline.
Because they're always moving around and stuff. Like you can't stop it.
Totally.
I do appreciate sport. It's fun, but when's the last time either of y'all actually picked up a basketball, dribbled that sucker through your legs, and shot a free throw? When was the last time?
It was at the Mile High Life's or the Mile High Sports Christmas party.
Oh, actually, me too.
Yeah, there you go. Mine was more recent than that because we got one down the street from us. And
okay,
my
that's
daughters
fun.
like to play, and sometimes I'll meet a fellow dad there, and we'll just play like around the world or whatever.
Oh, that's a fun game, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's good times.
I'm a terrible basketball player, but
car racing's your deal. Let's hit that.
Car racing,
vroom, vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom, baby. Fire up your race engines.
Wait, are you like Missy Elliott? Like, you remember in The Rain where she's like, beep, beep, who got the keys to the Jeep?
Driving to the beach, I'm gonna meet ya. Okay.
Yes, that was a great transition, guys. You're really pumping up.
Fuck yeah, dude.
The 76 running of the Daytona 500, the Great American Race. Super pumped for this, guys. As you know, we talked about Master Gas last week. I talked about NASCAR a lot on here. This is a big race. We're not going to talk NASCAR all year long, and happy Friday. But this is, NASCAR starts their year with their Super Bowl, and the Daytona 500 is a big deal. It's our first points race of the year. And we talked about Travis Pastrana a few weeks ago. He qualified.
Oh, he did. Wow.
He is guaranteed to start on Sunday. He will race in the duels to set his final position.
Duels?
So the duels basically are 2 qualifying heats, so to speak.
Okay.
2 60-lap events. You'll have half the field race, and that'll determine your inside and your outside starting positions.
Oh.
The front row is guaranteed. So Alex Bowman in the 48 is guaranteed to start on the pole for Hendrick Motorsports. Jimmy Johnson, back in the 84 car for Legacy Motorsport Club, he also made the 500. This is a big deal.
How old is Jimmy Johnson now?
Jimmy's 47.
Jesus God.
And Travis is only 39. But Travis doesn't have any NASCAR Cup experience. But he made it. He qualified on time. He will run on Sunday. It's going to be fun. I'm gonna go ahead and take Hendrick Motorsports for the win and go with the 48 Alex Bowman.
Cool. I'm going to go. You caught me flat-footed because it was almost like you expected us to weigh in.
Well,
and I was trying to think of any race driver.
Okay.
And I'm like...
I mean, you've rattled off quite a few.
Well, yeah. you know what? Because we talked about him on this show, and I'm like, Kev, you got to talk about this. I'm going to take Ross Chastain. Did
Okay.
he qualify?
Yeah, Russ.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Russ could go, and he just signed a multi-year
Perfect.
contract extension today. So
Okay, good.
That's fantastic.
he's taking the Watermelon Man. I got Bowman. Who are you going to take? You going to take Travis?
I'm going to go ahead and take the fans. Okay, I agree.
Fans for the win?
I agree with the fans in this sport because look, they're the people who are really winning there. Because if you've never been to a NASCAR
Wait,
track,
do you do PR too?
if you've never been to a NASCAR
now.
track, and went and enjoyed and felt these engines rolling by, man, you have to go experience this some point in your life. So the fans that make it, they're winning.
You need a job writing terrible copy.
Why is it terrible copy?
Because like when you say the fans win at Daytona 500, that I like my gag reflex just triggers because I've written shit like that professionally, like for money. People have paid me money to write dumbass shit like that.
So I'm just like a prodigy over here.
Maybe. But no, that was perfect. All right, let's go from speed to speed.
Let's go to 4 wheels to 2 wheels.
All right, so here in Colorado,
Oh,
look,
that was dueling transitions.
4 to
I like
2.
that.
4 to 2. I like that 4-2 hit. So, motorcycle lane splitting. We've seen it in California for a long time. Colorado is now entertaining that being a possible legal situation. House Bill 23-1059 is going to take a look at this and maybe implement for it to be legal if you're riding your motorcycle down I-25. Under certain circumstances, under slower conditions, you can split the lanes.
How slow? Like, what is slow
I mean,
conditions?
there really is there's no
What is
speed
that?
limit on what slow would be considered, but that's typically when you'd see lane splitting. When traffic's backing up, you're on a motorcycle. Instead of, I mean, I still think it's safer to fly down the shoulder than it is to cut traffic because you don't know who's going to change lanes, right?
Yeah.
I personally, I wouldn't ride a motorcycle out here. I think it's far too dangerous, let alone splitting down the lanes. I don't have a problem with this becoming legal, but I just wouldn't do it if I was a rider, just
Yeah.
for my own personal safety.
Look, man, as far as motorcycles go, when you ride one of those, you're taking your life in your own hands.
It's a roll of the dice.
So if as far as personal responsibility goes, if you want to do this and you want to split lanes and the law says it's okay, look, you're already taking your life in your own hands. Go for it. Do it for me. I've worked with a lot of doctors in my day. They all refer to motorcycles as donor cycles.
Oh, great.
So it's like we always know if it's a motorcycle victim, we're probably not going to save them.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, motorcycles ain't for me. The closest I've come, I had a scooter in college, but that thing topped out. The fastest I ever went on it was 46.
Okay.
I mean, it's still, you get
That's
some
pretty
speed.
fast, dude,
It
and
is.
that'll fuck you up.
Oh, yeah.
But mostly, if you're driving around city streets, we just talked last week, the city streets are lowered to 20.
Yeah.
Scooter's perfect for that. You're not going to find me on a crotch rocket, man.
So,
No,
and
or a Harley.
I don't know this. So, I believe Colorado does not have a helmet law.
It is one of the only states without a helmet
So
law.
That's insane to me.
That's the thing.
yes.
So I had a feeling, I had a hunch on that. So that's the thing. Like if you're gonna start lane splitting and you're doing all these other things while you're on a motorcycle and you're also not wearing a helmet, like you said, you take that own risk on your own time. You might endanger other people though, and I am okay with it. I wouldn't do it. I mean, I wouldn't do it either.
It ain't for me, man.
No, and that's kind of
It
where I
ain't
was
for me.
at too.
Yeah.
Like if it's illegal, great. But if you want to take that risk and you want to start lane splitting, no helmet, flying down in the summertime when you got people blasting music, not paying attention to their mirrors as they make a lane change, and you want to end up a donor cycle, that's on you.
Yeah, true.
That's
I mean, that's all I can say to that.
I mean, look, if I was younger and when I was younger, if I would have had the money to be able to afford a motorcycle and do something like that, I would do it in my late teens, early 20s. But when you're a matured man, as us sitting around this table are, this is probably not something you're going to consider unless if you're encountering your midlife in crisis, and I wish the best of fortune upon you.
You know what? Look, man, you're not going to find me. You're not going to find me midlife crisising and getting myself some Harley or some motorcycle. But as long as we're talking libertarian shit here, right?
Freedom, baby.
So we go from helmets and motorcycles to weed, where it's actually regulated. Here, I'm talking like you now. By the way, you've got me
regulated.
Yeah, you've got me like putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
I'm glad I had
like,
that effect on you, John.
Where you go, like Colorado regulated
Yes.
marijuana.
See?
Didn't that sound like Kevin?
I thought it sounded great.
Thanks, buddy.
That was a good delivery.
Regulated.
Yes, yes.
So, okay, here's Kevin talking about weed.
So
Smooth. I know, that was good. I'm
Yes.
nothing but smooth when it came to that. That was just
So we're going to talk a little marijuana. That's what we're going to do.
marijuana.
That's right, that marijuana, which I am a supporter of. So Colorado launches an energy reduction program for marijuana growers. This is fantastic, guys. I didn't see this coming, but I really like it. So the CROP, which stands for the Cannabis Resource Optimization Program, is going to start offering some subsidies and some financial support if they qualify. And so basically what this is going to look like is renewable energy assets, down-the-road financing for equipment and facility upgrades to optimize the performance and ultimately reduce energy costs for these grow ops. What do you guys think? I mean, should the state get involved? Should it be, kind of one of those deals? Because, I also kind of look at like the breweries. Are they receiving similar programs? That I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's a fair question. I do know that if you're growing weed, it is a very labor and energy and water intensive process. And so if we can, reduce the energy used in anything that we're doing, I also know that in terms of, I hope this doesn't just apply to marijuana. I hope it applies to hemp. Because hemp is a really interesting solution to a lot of problems that we have. And not to turn into some dipshit YouTuber here, even though this is on YouTube. But like hemp is a fascinating crop for a number of things that we could use that I know was a victim of propaganda 100 years ago by William Randolph Hearst because he owned so many printing presses that he wanted to keep, his profits up for that. And so he demonized hemp. That's why you got the reefer madness, why marijuana is very, very criminalized, or was for a long time. So if we can do this and it has ancillary benefits, I'm all for it. I think it's cool.
What's your thoughts, Art?
My thoughts are that I think it's great, right? Let's give them a break. Let's help them out in any way that we can. This thing, the taxes are going to help schools. They're going to all these different areas that actually help Colorado locally. It brings in tourism. Why not get behind it and help it out? My only concern with that is like how much further do they dive in though after that? Like how much further do they go after that? Like how much more involved are they getting when it should be a privately owned thing? So like you're like looking down the brim of the rabbit hole at that point, and I support it, but at the same time, like how much further does it go?
I guess until we find out, we won't know. But they're making measures to do it. We'll just have to study it and see how it goes.
All right, we're talking weed. Now we got to talk food.
Yes.
The Denver Post wants to know where your favorite spicy chicken sandwich is. And that can be Korean fried chicken. That can be Nashville hot. That can be just any spicy fried chicken that you can get. And the very first spicy chicken sandwich I ever ate was Wendy's. Like
Delicious.
literally, I remember when they came out with that and they added that to the menu. I go, oh fuck yeah, this is my sandwich. And I don't find myself at a Wendy's that often anymore, but that's what I'm gonna order when I'm there, right? So where do you guys get your spicy chicken sandwiches?
So again, I started at fast food joints, of course, and then Nashville hot started to become a thing around Denver. So I've had some of their Nashville hot style chicken sandwiches. But I'll tell you this: the best one I've had so far is a place right off just west of Hamden and 25 called Bird Call.
Oh yeah, I know Bird Call.
Do you?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, it's the sauce, it's the spice, the flavor. I had to really kind of narrow it down because I've had so many spicy chicken sandwiches. Like that's one of my favorites, and that's probably one of the ones I would suggest at Denver Post.
Yeah.
Orchard and DTC. Even when I know the name of a place, I'm going to mess it up. So it's right there.
Brand, yeah.
Orchard and DTC. They got a good Nashville hot in there. Make your nose sweat. It's like a little brewery. It's fun.
Oh yeah, we've been there.
Yeah, you accompanied me there before, and it's delicious.
My favorite one is at the Post Brewing. So the Post, I usually get a Nashville hot half bird, but they do a nice sandwich. Two other ones, the Budlong food truck, that's really good. True Brewing has a good one. Submit your recommendations to Denver Post, and then they will do a bracket. They'll crown a winner. But seriously, you're a winner as long as you're eating Nashville hot chicken sandwich, unless you're Kevin and you get the Ajita, or if you're from the Midwest, Hortburn.
Oh yeah, the Hortburn Ajita, no bueno.
The only way this chicken sandwich is going to fail, in my opinion, is if it doesn't have pickles.
Oh, see, I don't care for pickles.
Oh, you got to put the pickle on it.
No, I disagree.
I love pickle.
I want the pickle on it.
Okay, well, I'm outvoted here. I'm okay being wrong. All right, Art, take us to another food thing.
All right, so where we're at next is, look, a local chef has brought a title home to Colorado. Let's go. I'm so excited for this. Oscar Padilla.
Probably Padilla.
Padilla, yeah.
Padilla. See, I knew I was going to need help with this. Listeners, forgive me, but at least I'm consistently this way. So the Food Network, Chopped, they did all these competitions, and Oscar brought it to Colorado.
Sweet.
So super excited for that. One thing that I do like about his story is that the food that he cooks is inspired by his family, his grandmother, and he really wanted to bring the heritage of Latin America to the tables at the restaurant. John, could you do me the honors and tell me how that's pronounced?
That's probably Gaucho Parrilla.
Perfect. Parrilla. And see, I'm going to lean on you. You can lean on me a little bit, all right? It's good. It's good over here. And what he really wanted to do is bring the Latin American here, as far as the food goes, beyond the American nacho. And I'm all about it. Mexican food is one of my favorites, Hispanic food, whatever you want to call it. I know it's probably not a true dish, but I love a good fajita burrito smothered in green chili. What is your top plate at a Mexican restaurant?
So here's the thing, man. I realize I'm probably a fucking Karen when it comes to Mexican food. And, like, I mean, he talked about authentic Mexican food. Mm-hmm. There's an episode of Master of None where he... One of the characters is like, can you bring the Chinese food that you make for actual Chinese people?
Yes.
Like, American Chinese food is ridiculous. But, like, I like it.
It's delicious.
That's my palate. Right?
It's
good.
Like, they don't have sweet and sour chicken in actual China. Right?
No, it's not
So,
there.
like, when you go to Mexico and you get actual Mexican food, it doesn't look like Americanized Mexican food. Here's the thing, man. I fucking love it all. Like, authentic, bullshit. Like, no matter what.
You get one plate to choose, though, right here. I need to know what's your plate?
What am I getting?
Yeah, like
I'm
what?
getting a crispy chili relleno.
Okay, hell yeah.
First of all, you did make it plural and said what's your favorite dishes, so you didn't really label it down to one, and also you spelled chili wrong in the in the article here, but that's okay.
Hey, look.
I'm glad you're editing the copy that none of these people can read.
We all had time to edit this before this happened.
Well, I just noticed that.
You're just waiting.
So it's good that you did it on air. That's perfect.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
I just noticed that I was reading it, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to go carne asada anything, whether that's carne asada fries, carne asada burrito, that's going to be my choice.
That's delicious.
Yeah,
That's
no,
really
I'm
delicious.
going crispy chili relleno.
No, I mean, all good, okay? Like, I'll go eat Mexican food once a week.
Oh yeah, no, I'll eat it way more than that, and then I'll balloon up even further. So
More to come on that later.
yeah, no shit, right? Okay, all right, let's talk about long-term goals. Art, this one's all you, and I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, so this one, I feel like this is a great platform, and I'm fortunate to be able to have the platform at Happy Friday to talk about this, also on Discussion Combustion, but I'm doing it publicly here. So February of this year marks the 24 months, so 2-year anniversary for me, which is a big personal goal of being opiate free. And it was not an easy journey, right? So that's why this is about sticking to your goals long term. I failed so many times in order to, get to this 24 months. Like, I tried for 5 years to get off this shit. So I really just want to put that out there so everybody knows it's okay if you have an issue, first of all, and it's okay if you fail while trying to be better. Like, that's just how it goes. I want to quickly talk about where I was to where I am now and the big difference that sticking to a goal can actually create in your life. When I was still on this shit and being an idiot, my credit was below 500, cars repoed, was in between jobs, and a toxic relationship was the heaviest that I've ever been. Just like you could check all the boxes of messing up in every single sector in life. And within that 24 months of really staying free of it and turning the corner as far as, like, I wouldn't even want it if someone offered it sort of thing, I've reversed all those things. So if you stick to your goals and you do it long term and you do it for the right reasons, even if it's hard, then you can turn your whole life around. Like, I know, Kevin, you've told me stories about people turning their whole life around in 13 days. Like, it's just, you have to stick in and do it. And I wanted to celebrate that on this show and also encourage anyone who's dealing with that to face it and give yourself some grace, but stick in it. Stick in it.
Wise words for the people. Wise words, for sure. Takes a lot of courage, takes commitment, to do those kind of things and make those life changes. I definitely applaud you, man. 2 years sober off opiates. Congratulations.
Dude, that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Because it's something that, like, I'm grateful that my body, like, rejects opioids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my body, I don't respond. And I go, how does anyone ever enjoy this? Like, I get sick. I get, like, bipolar. I go, I cannot fucking wait to get off this. And I go, I don't know how people, like, enjoy this. But, like, my body chemistry is different. And everything that I've read, the fact that, I mean, you were sweating through so many nights, I imagine, of just, like, gripping tight and getting through it and gritting your teeth and fucking doing it. 2 years, man, that's huge.
And it feels good.
That's so good.
So is there, I wanted to ask, give the two of you a chance, too, to talk about anything that you've had going on. Is there any big, impactful changes that either of you have been trying to accomplish over the last couple of years or that you're currently working on?
So my favorite thing is I quit smoking for good 3 years ago.
Okay.
So 3+ years ago now. I don't do the exact date because I find if I, like, lionize an anniversary, it plays in my head too much, and I need it to be a little more nebulous. I started doing Orange Theory more than 2 years ago. That was really good. Like, my body is in a place where I'm really happy with it. I'm carrying more weight and I drink more than I'd like to. But ultimately, getting rid of cigarettes, I haven't had a soda in 5 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, like, just no smoking, working out regularly. I feel good about that, and, like, that's something to be proud of.
Does a soda or a cigarette ever call you? Like, you're ever, like, getting that craving? So you turn the corner on it, like, kind of like,
and, like, sodas I wasn't even really addicted to, but it was just a nice thing to get rid of. Like, that's just, like, that's providing no health benefit to you whatsoever. I will say, flying back from San Antonio, I did have a 7-Up on the plane because I was so hungover.
Okay.
And I go, that really helped. That was nice. But that was, like, 1 in 5 years, and, like, it's not a thing for me.
Yeah, a nice zesty lemon lime beverage. That does hit.
The Uncola.
Yeah, when you're feeling a little bit hungover.
Yeah, how about you, Kev?
Yeah, I think I think all three of us kind of share the same thing. I think we all want to kind of cut back on alcohol a little bit. That definitely plays in. I've gone public on DCPC saying I'll be sober when I'm 35, so that'll be just over a year from now. I think outside of that would just be fitness goals. Since I got out of the grocery biz and have been doing a little bit more talking and sitting in a chair, I've got a beer belly, so I need to work on that. And I think that would be my personal goal going forward, a little bit more fitness, a little bit more physical activity.
Yeah, I'm carrying more than I'd like, but, like, I'm more athletic than I've been in years, which I really, really like. So.
Yeah, that's terrific. We talked about you running a mile a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, set goals and stick to them. It's so important. And we got some fun things to do this weekend as well.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so coming up, Stoney's Bar and Grill, Saturday, February 18th at 1 p.m. $25 is the buy-in. I don't much care for crawfish myself. Will you guys?
So I have a shellfish allergy, so I have to kind of dance around that a little bit.
So why the fuck is this in here?
Well, because it's cool. I think a lot of folks are celebrating Mardi Gras, right? Because Mardi Gras starts on Tuesday, the 21st. Sure, yeah. So it's a very Louisiana tradition. Stoney's has been doing it for a long time, and if you like to do crawfish, you could do that.
Crawfish?
Yeah.
Crawfish.
Yeah.
God damn it, dude. You keep fucking up my cadence. My cadence.
This will continue.
Okay, Ari Shaffir comedy, it's coming. That's going to be Thursday, the 16th.
That was yesterday.
Yesterday.
It's all the way through Sunday, Art.
Through Sunday.
Yes.
You didn't even let me finish.
Well, but you said it was Thursday. I'm sorry.
Hey, I was saying it. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you want to laugh beyond Happy Friday, then definitely check out Ari. He's going to be great.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He'll be at Comedy Works downtown all weekend. I won't be there because I got a lot of other shit to do. But something that I would like to attend, and I'm also not going to be able to, is the Midwinter Bluegrass Festival at Red Rocks. How fun is that? The weather looks like it's going to cooperate, so you can go out and listen to some good tunes, have a couple cold beers, listen to some music that makes John feel like he's being chased.
Yeah. No, I love that. That'll be good. Like, let's get some weed that inspires anxiety. You'll listen to that music and be like, who the fuck is after me?
Yes.
Seriously, holy shit.
You just keep looking behind yourself all night during the concert.
Who's here? I love bluegrass.
I'm going to throw in one that's not on the rundown. On tonight, actually. We have the Music Video Theater All-Star Game. And the All-Star Game this is number 11. So we've done 10 of these. Okay?
It's intense.
So, and we all drew one of another participant's name. We don't know who drew who. I do because I curated the list.
Okay.
But and we picked one video from each of their 10 lists, and then I mixed them into an 11th list. That's a fucking all-star game.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And so music video, it's all bangers, dude. Like, literally, you go through it and you go, holy shit, it's this song. And then this one, and then this one, and then fuck. And then your head explodes, and the night's over.
And this is for the championship?
No, like, there's no championship. We all win here, bro.
Okay.
We all fucking win. We all win.
Yes.
Literally. Put the fucking camera on me, Art.
Oh,
We
no,
all
you
win.
didn't. No,
Jesus
you
Christ.
didn't.
Yeah. No, it's a throwback. Put that fucking camera on me.
Oh, yeah.
It's a throwback to the origin of Happy Friday. Literally.
Sounds like a great time.
It's going to be great. The four of us who do this, we've all selected each other's videos, and I cannot wait to play them because I curated the list like 2 weeks ago. It's going to be fun as hell. That's my weekend.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a great
Where's
weekend.
my invite?
I look forward to hearing the results.
Where's my invite?
It ain't coming. Because you're not part of the four, man. It's the four. It's the all-star game.
Look,
the
can
Final
I at
Four.
least attend for viewing?
No.
No spectating allowed.
The fans should win here, John.
Oh, take your PR bullshit elsewhere.
Yes, and of course, as a fan, you already know I'll be watching racing all weekend. Speed Weeks is here. I'm going to be watching the Daytona 500, the Great American Race, on Fox on Sunday. That's where I'll be. Art, probably not going to make queso this weekend. I think I fucked you up last weekend for the Super Bowl.
That queso was so delicious. In fact, it did wreck me. And on that note, John,
Yes?
can you close us out?
Oh, good. Perfect. All right. Well, that I thought he was going to say more about queso and how much it fucked him up. Don't you be fucked up. And rate, review, and subscribe on whatever podcatcher you're listening on. Also, follow us on social. Happy Friday Den on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow the Fricashinas. We've got links to their music here in the show notes. No matter where you are, you can find us. Mile High Life is where you get all the best pods. We're out of here for this weekend. I'm going to go listen to music videos. Kev's going to watch car racing. Art's not going to eat queso. And Justin is going to play us out right now.